I think it's as negative as I've seen going back, call it 4 or 5 years ago. Look, if I look fundamentally, I think on Apple, I think we're starting to get to a bottom here. In terms of the bad news baked in terms of what we've seen with iPhone demand, especially coming out of China, I think you look at the FANG names, look, part of it is the multiples, partially worries about where fundamentals are going over the next year. So I think at this point, we continue to be strong buyers, especially on a name like Apple, where I think the bad news here is really baked in relative
Is it overly baked in?
Look,
I mean, iPhone sales, we hear, everybody keeps saying they're going to be weak, but is Apple's business 18% weaker than it was a month ago?
Yeah, look, on the sum of the parts, the services business we think is about calling it $400 to $450 billion. Take the cash out, you're getting the iPhone business for about 1 times revenue. So in our opinion, on the sum of the parts here, I think we look back and view this as really a bottom in Apple relative to some of the iPhone sales coming out. That even though it has been weaker than expected, but I think part of that self-inflicted with Cook and the iPhone metrics.
Okay, you know what? Also, I want to talk about some new names because we talk about the FANGs enough. Okay, because we want to get. If you believe that markets have been oversold, I no doubt many of our viewers and listeners do. If you do, you want to buy things low, right? Some people wait till after Christmas to buy that flat panel, right? Because they know it's going to be cheaper. Let's talk about Zscaler and Qualys. Why do you like these stocks right now?
Well, I think you look, first of all, from a secular perspective, cybersecurity, in our opinion, not just resilient, but that's areas you're going to see more and more spending, especially on the move to the cloud. Those are pure plays. Zscaler, in our opinion, on cybersecurity is probably one of the best names out there. And that's a stock, not just fundamentally, but that's also a top M&A candidate, too. As larger players look to get into cyber, you're seeing more and more trends moving to the cloud, 30% going to 55%. A name like Qualys, that's really another pure play cloud cybersecurity trend. So those are 2 names, we'll call it under the radar, gotten beat up here, where I view them fundamentally, even from an M&A perspective, going much higher.
Is that a similar story on Checkpoint?
Look, Checkpoints are kind of steady Eddie in cybersecurity. I like the barbell approach.
The name's been around. It's a stock that actually has been around forever.
It's been around.
I can remember when they IPO'd. I think it was like 20, when I had a lot more hair.
Yeah, look, it's been around forever, but that's why you look at cybersecurity. You want some of the high-flying names like a Zscaler, a Qualys, also a name like a CyberArk, and you look at a name like Checkpoint as a barbell approach in terms of cybersecurity.
How come nobody talks about Oracle anymore?
Look, I think part of it is that when you look at the cloud, they've really missed that cloud move in terms of the shift. Obviously, Microsoft and Adelis had the golden touch, AWS. Now, look, Google Cloud, they hire Kurian from Oracle, who is kind of the core cloud guy. So I think that's part of it. But you look at M&A. I mean, that's what Oracle's going to have to get aggressive on M&A in cloud and cybersecurity. And this is going to be an arms race in cloud.
Well, that's it. And what you referenced is the new general manager, a new guy is running Google Cloud, which to me says they're going to go after Amazon Web Services and Microsoft's Azure. Is that going to be, though, a commodity price race to the bottom? That's the fear. The margins are going to get whacked as those 3 big dogs just chew each other up.
Yeah, I mean, look, Google, specifically with Kurian, they're going to have to make a significant cloud acquisition, I'd say probably in the first 6 months of the year, in terms of trying to chase AWS and Microsoft. Right now, it's a 2-horse race. Yeah, and I think right now, names like Google, look at IBM and Red Hat. I think that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of M&A on cloud, because this is really going to be a market over the next 12 to 18 months that sees hundreds of billions of dollars of spending over the next decade.